Welcome, everyone, to John and Dylan Online. My name is Dylan Gott. Joining me this week is John
Oh my
Hastings.
God, first time on the show. First time caller, long time
Ooh.
listener. I just want to let everyone know.
This week, we're talking about the man, the myth, the man, Ryan Seacrest, baby.
Yeah, and before we decide who the American Idol is, let's all. Also, Dylan, did you put a filter on your camera?
No.
It looks like you put a filter on it from my end,
What,
but that's
what does
fine.
it look like?
It looks like you're. It looks like you're a weird drawing.
Ooh,
Either
okay.
that or I'm about to have a stroke. What I want to say is join our Patreon. So
Before I die.
before I die, I'm going to need some money for my medical bills. Ladies and
Please
gentlemen,
rate and subscribe and review and rate and subscribe. That helps so much. And then we can gather money from other cuckolds.
yeah, guys, we are trying to get to the place where we can just start being critical of the medical establishment, and we don't have enough subscribers to do that.
I mean, that's how we can build it. I think vaccines are make you too horny. John,
Yeah,
what's Ryan Seacrest like?
he is much like the vaccine. I'm against him. No, I there goes that YouTube algorithm. No, Ryan Seacrest is the worst type of person you encounter in show business, which is he is nakedly wants to be famous, sees nothing wrong with that, will accomplish goal. That's what he is. He is super irritating. He is the guy that Dylan, I know you're gonna remember this. If you remember the 2000s when we used to drink beers after comedy shows, he'd be the kind of guy that we're ordering a beer at a comedy club and he'd go, drinking, you guys should be at home working on jokes, and you just want to be like, I feel like one day you're going to embezzle a bunch of money from dead comedians. I may or may not be basing that on a one particular guy, but
Yeah, a true assortment of dead comedians.
a true piece of shit maneuver from a true garbage human being. If I am talking about a real person, you'll never know if I am talking about a real person who moved to LA, was so bad he was fired by the company he was working at because he almost got them embroiled in an incidental corporate espionage scandal. Real piece of shit. Not talking about anyone real. What I am talking about is, of course, Ryan Seacrest, born in a little place called Atlanta, Georgia, in the middle 70s. He came out of his mom's hoo-ha and said, I am going to win. And he has never stopped trying.
I came out of you. I've already forgotten you. And then he started networking with the doctor.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, so do
What
you know
shows
anyone
do
who
you run?
yeah, oh, that's a mirror. I love what I'm seeing. It's his own. He's jacking off to his own. He jacked off to his own image as a baby.
He's, I think, do you hate Ryan Seacrest? I feel like I hated Ryan Seacrest when I was like a teenager just because he was like the symbol of squeaky clean TV.
I felt neutral towards Ryan Seacrest, except I, of course, have had a professional interaction with Ryan Seacrest. Here is, I'm just going to say this allegedly, supposedly. Maybe, perhaps, sometimes radio shows might, in some possibilities, employ actors to call in, maybe to participate in their bits. And maybe if one of those bits is called Ryan's Roses, there is a particular possibility that someone on this podcast has been hired to call in for money to Ryan Seacrest's show on air with Seacrest, where he does this thing where he sends roses to people to discover whether or not they're cheating, and it may or may not be all fake. And when you're on the line with Ryan Seacrest, he is the biggest piece of shit asshole you've ever fucking encountered in your life. Will not say hello or goodbye, hangs up the call always, talks about the callers noticeably to other can we try this again? Can you maybe get a better guy next time? That kind of guy. And you're literally
That's
just
fucking awesome.
like I literally
So
was
he's who
told
you
this
want him to
supposed
be, kind of like you don't
it
want
is
him to be
exactly
nice.
it is exactly who you want him to be, but he's also like his tone allegedly, supposedly, maybe if I was involved in this, you'll never know, is so cunty where it's literally one of those things where it's like you want to just be like, hey motherfucker, I don't give a fuck how many bodyguards you have. I'm from a little place called Ontario and I'll hit you with my fucking car. Like, do you like you
Hypothetically.
don't like I don't give a fuck that you're from that part of Atlanta, which is all just different golf courses and they act like black people have never been invented. I'm from Do or Die, Ontario, and where I come from, I'll yell at you from a car window, bitch. Don't fuck with me. You know what I'm saying?
I'll yell at you from a car window is one of the funniest threats I've ever heard. Oh
You might
yeah,
be
well
enjoying.
I'll yell at you and then drive away fast.
Yeah, you might be enjoying a nice stroll, and I'm going to give you something to think about on that stroll
Hey
from my car
buddy,
window.
fuck you.
Exactly. That's how did
Scored.
got him. He
dead.
has been roasted.
So Ryan Seacrest, whose mom's name is Constance, grew up in
Oh.
Atlanta, immediately goes to LA at 19 and pretty much has uninterruptedly hosted television shows since then. Isn't
So
that
the thing
fucking
that no,
insane?
so Ryan Seacrest is from he's from a radio background. This is a thing with radio. If you want to get into TV very quickly, a trick, especially in the 90s, was get onto morning radio in Los Angeles because someone looking for a host will be like, I heard a fucking guy on the radio, put him on it. And that's exactly what Ryan Seacrest does. And you can see that from the various gigs he gets. He's a host of the rebranded Gladiators 2000, the new American Gladiators
Oh
sequel they tried
fuck
to make.
yeah.
Fuck yeah. How was that not successful? What
It
kind of
was just
fucking
the
bull?
guys from Corn and fucking
Oh,
Dream Theater or whatever.
oh my God. How fucking good would it be if the gladiators were the guy from Dream Theater? You got to climb this Velcro wall while John Petruccio just bores the shit out of you while talking about drums.
Oh yeah, hell yeah. Hey,
Dream
what, you think you
Theater.
can beat
What a
Flea from
shit
Corn?
bag.
Hey,
Turn the
guitar nerds love Dream Theater. They're the number one, like, fuck. I almost went to, my friends were like really into guitar, and I almost went to like one of the fucking, like Joe Satriani, a guy just looks like a fucking pedophile, and he
Oh,
just like, and it's just a bunch of guys with, who, just a bunch of guys look like comic book guy from The Simpsons going like, oh yeah, Joe, let him have it.
Joe, you did it again. He went doodly doodly
Oh,
doodly.
Joe. Oh, no.
The big one though, Joe Satriani's not bad. If you're really into guitar though, is the guy that were the people that were into Yngwie Malmsteen. Those are the motherfuckers.
Or Steve Vai. Steve Vai was just
Oh,
like a real piece of shit dick where he's like very good, but then it was like he was in that hair metal band, but all those guitar nerds had to be like, but he plays it so
it's because Steve Vai was also in Frank Zappa's band, is why Steve Vai gets a pass. Because but bear in mind, all of Steve Vai's money comes from the fact that he was David Lee Roth's guitar player. Because quote unquote David Lee
yeah.
Roth, I know how to beat Van Halen. I'll just get another Van Halen, and that's what he did, and that's why David Lee Roth rules.
This
Skiddly
guy's gonna
bop.
do scales for 4 hours. Oh yeah, you liked Panama? This guy's doing scales alone
Yeah,
on a
you like Panama? This song's called Guatemala. Fuck you.
he's got fucking he rigged up a ruler and a bunch of very tight elastics. He made a guitar out of it. Now he's doing scales on top of the moon. So that's a bit better than Van Halen. You like fun? This guy hates that.
Eddie's dad didn't talk to him unless he played guitar. I killed this guy's dad. What do you want?
We gotta listen. I need another Eddie. I took it up on myself to kill your dad. So there we go. So you have now that childhood trauma. It's just you're 36 when it happens. Anyway,
So
yeah, but he was not one of the gladiators. Ryan Seacrest wasn't.
damn it. And then yeah, but he hosted a different version of American Gladiators, which is he fought Brian Dunkelman for the fucking gold ring in the first season of American Idol to decide who's going to host this solo. Do you understand how crazy it is? Okay, so Ryan Seacrest and Brian Dunkelman host the first season of American Idol together. Now, Brian Dunkelman does stand-up comedy with me at Flappers Burbank. And Ryan Seacrest, I assume, is somewhere murdering a cat to get a boner.
Ryan Seacrest, yeah, definitely owned the planes that Epstein used.
Yeah. Everything Jeffrey Epstein did was based off of an email Ryan Seacrest dashed off when he wasn't even really paying attention. I don't know, get a big house in New York, lots of painting and naked people, make sure all of these women's lives are ruined forever. That's the key. That's the key, Jeff.
Yeah, he's a really good broadcaster. Man, I'm really like I'm not jealous of the fact that this guy has like 6 TV shows and that like I guarantee that he just walks around with a microphone because he's on television and radio so much. It just asks people to plug XLR cables into it when he's on air. Like he doesn't even change it around. He's just like plug the cable into it. This is Ryan Seacrest and I'm name of show on it, and now I'm interviewing Celebrity High. All right, that's done. Get Kelly Ripa in here. No, build the set around me. I don't have the time to move and sit down for another set. Just build the set around me. Thank you, Kelly. Don't look me in the fucking eyes, Kelly. You've never earned it. You won't earn it. Okay.
So, I like your point. So basically, we're skipping ahead. I disagree, which is I think Ryan Seacrest has always been the shithead diva alpha until he met Kelly Ripa. Kelly Ripa befriended Regis Philbin, took his career, and fucking kicked him out. Like, you don't fuck with Kelly Ripa. Kelly Ripa's the one who fucks in
Well,
Hollywood.
they all like this is Regis. He's a good.
hang the fuck on. Here's my point.
Ryan Seacrest and Kelly Ripa are very that's a very good show because it is the legacy of two people that basically were born with television. Was like Dick Clark hands his shit to Ryan Seacrest, Kelly Ripa Regis Philbin hands her shit to Kelly his shit.
Well, both things are a bit different.
They both
Regis
been on
Philbin,
TV
as
forever.
we've since learned, he did not hand anything. It was Kelly Ripa spent years behind the scenes being like, well, it's a bit old.
He's
You know who's
old.
not old? Me. I am not old.
I'm not old. And
Look at
then
this
Regis
skin.
is like, hey, here's the thing, Kelly. Hey,
Yeah.
everybody. I know the mafia and I'll kill your kids.
Here's the thing you need to remember about me, fucking Kelly, is I've put a tiny bomb in your uterus. You fucking get me fired, you're gonna fucking die.
I think, sorry, one of the most smartest things that I've heard lately, but also the most depressing. Someone told me that they're just copying what Regis Philbin ate and how he worked out. And I was like, why? He's like, he lived so long. And I was like, yeah, that's if you're just at 38 starting to be like, I'm gonna live till 90, then yeah, I guess copy Regis. Just eat a prune and then do yoga.
There's no way, by the way. Yeah, but what no one takes into account is also Regis Philbin had millions of dollars from the 50s. Like Regis Philbin is one of those guys where it's like, how did he live so long? You have a six-figure income from when you're 28 forward. That's how you fucking live super long.
Yeah, man. Just being around, like, once again, celebrities in the 50s are dope, where it's like there's no phones. Regis just hung out near where they film stuff, eventually got on there, and they're like, I don't know, get Regis.
Literally, Regis Philbin was a weatherman on New York radio, and Joey Bishop was such a piece of shit to be around that
I
the
love
network
it.
executives were like, "We need someone that people like," and they just sat Regis Philbin next to Joey Bishop, and like that was like Regis Philbin's thing, where it's like, "Hey, this guy just will not stop talking about Hitler's okay," so we've got Regis next to him to go, "I don't know about this Hitler."
Yeah. It was just hit at the time in the Rat Pack where, hey, what if immediately when the cameras turn off, someone wasn't racist? Regis. I like how when the cameras turn off, he says, how are you? That's just he said
Yeah.
that to a PA and the PA just started weeping. I've never
I can't.
I
I didn't even know I was a person. Oh, don't confuse it. You're not a person. Anyway, so what happened? By
Oh,
the
you're
way?
not. I just said hello to you because I say hello to the fridge.
I
Open
just
up,
talking.
give me the food.
Yeah, I want you. I want you to baby bird me, PA. What did you have for lunch? I want to try it. So here's the thing with Kelly Ripa. Kelly Ripa fucking cuts the fucking head off of fucking Regis Philbin. Michael Strahan then comes in, fucks over fucking her. She brings in
Strahan.
Strahan fucked her over. Strahan goes to Good Morning America in like a great controversy. She finds out on the air.
This is the last days of TV too. This is dope. I love this SB where it's like you don't think of it as being as much money now because it's like there's so much more. I guess there's more visibility. Like I'm looking at my phone obviously more than I'm following television, but I
But
like
you're
this
also
fucking. Go for it.
You're a learned father of one. You're not a 62-year-old postmenopausal woman who's raised her kids and now is like, my husband has just forgotten that those kids haven't lived here in 15 years and now I drink in the morning. Let's see what this fucking cunt's getting up to.
That's
You know
what I like though. That's where it's like, and I do mean this, and I know what I'm saying. Anyone could do those jobs. Anyone could do those jobs of just being pleasant on television.
Yeah.
Like you just show up and you are pleasant. Like Michael Strahan had it in because at least he was like amazing at something before that. Like he's truly one of the fact that he pivoted from being one of the most intimidating defensive ends. Like literally, it's like football attracts the best athletes. He was one of the best athletes in the best sport, one of the scariest people. But if he didn't have that gap in his teeth,
You're completely correct.
he's just a fucking savage, that guy. But he has that fucking gap. So everyone's like, oh, that's cute. And he's like, I could rip your head off in any moment, Kelly.
Hey, guess what, Kelly? I will shit in your toilet.
Hey, Kelly.
So
I
Ryan
know this
Seacrest
commercial
is
breaks only
brought
30
in.
seconds, but I guess you've never hung out with someone bigger than the bouncers. Anyway, let's go back.
Yeah.
But legit, Michael Strahan would just kill all the people trying to stop him.
Of course. Like I guarantee in the commercial breaks, Kelly would be like, "Don't you fucking step on my sentence again." And Michael Strahan would just literally piss. This is what I do. This is what I fucking
This is
do,
what I
Ripa.
fucking do. This is what I fucking do. This is what I fucking do. That's
Yeah,
good.
that might look like piss to you. Know what that is to me? That's the that's the blood of God.
The
You
blood
think
of
your piss is
God.
the blood of God, Michael? I do cocaine. You think Lawrence Taylor does cocaine? I do cocaine. Ryan Seacrest takes over for Michael Strahan in that show. And by the way, there is one time a report that there's tension between Kelly Ripa and Ryan Seacrest, and the next day Ryan Seacrest is off the show, not on the show anymore. The show is now hosted by Kelly Ripa and her husband, and he comes back 1 month later as a guest to discuss about how much he misses the show and how much he likes still hosting American Idol. Kelly
That's
Ripa,
wicked.
I guarantee kid
We
like
got to do a Kelly
kidnapped her.
Ripa episode, man.
Oh yeah, we're gonna do
What do you think
fucking
Kelly Ripa? Do you think Kelly Ripa is the reason that Kelly Clarkson gained weight? Just heard
yes.
there was
There's
another
only
Kelly
one
on
thin Kelly.
television and just
There's
started
only
injecting her with pudding while she was sleeping.
I guarantee it wasn't injecting. I guarantee that like Kelly Ripa just somehow is in Kelly Clarkson's house. Hi Kelly, you're gonna need to put on some weight. How did you get in here? Don't ask stupid questions, Kelly.
Oh no, yeah. She wakes up, she goes to sleep, right? She, in her loving house with I don't know what Kelly Clarkson's like. Maybe she has a loving family, is what I assume. And then she
I
wakes
assume that
up
as well.
and she's clockwork orange. Her eyes are taped shut and her mouth is just pried open. And Kelly Ripa is just shoving food in her that's really tasty, but she can't chew. She's not allowed to chew. She just wants to wake you. Oh no, I
Yeah.
know you like cake. Everyone likes cake. I want you to get fat and have diabetes. I don't want you to chew the cake. That would be
Here's
fun.
the thing that I think you're not considering is I don't think you're considering just that Kelly Ripa is not someone to do it forcefully. She just gives you a little push. I think Kelly Ripa is like the Joker. She doesn't need to clockwork orange. You know what I mean?
No,
She's just
I'm saying that it's open. Like she's the struggle is done. Kelly Ripa's just very like almost maternally giving her the cake now.
I understand, but what I'm saying is it's you actually could like it's not even she's not even involved. She just said one thing to Kelly Ripa that was so to Kelly Clarkson that's so like cutting that the next
Oh,
10 years were just a Quiznos
there was
orgy
like
at the Clarkson
this
household.
dam of trauma, and then she
Correct.
just said one thing, and then the trauma just
Yeah.
came back in. Okay,
Kelly
well, that's
Ripa's a
good.
Kelly Ripa really strikes me as
And
the
she
kind
did
of
the pencil thing with that's what happened when Seacrest got out. She was like, "I'm gonna make a pencil disappear." She
yeah.
smacks the guy's head
Yeah.
out, kills a PA, and then everyone's like, "Seacrest might be out."
Hey
That's
Regis, let me ask you a question. Why so serious?
Here's my card. Yeah.
Yeah. Here's what Noah talks about is that time when that movie came out and everyone who was like leaning towards being a real loser in their mid 20s just started saying, why so serious to girls in bars? And they really invented the incel movement. All right.
I remember this is something our mutual friend Bobby Knuff, very funny comedian, was the first person, and now it's everywhere, to notice how dumb it was when the Joker is pretending to be the nurse and then he takes off the mask and that's when Harvey Dent recognizes him. But he's in full face paint and is clearly the Joker. And then he takes off the tiny surgical mask, and Harvey Dent's like, "Wait a minute, that's the Joker!" About how funny that is. Anyway, we got it because we only have a bit of time. So tell me more about CC.
All right. Baby Seacrest. He's hosting a little show. You might have heard it, starring notice victim of Kelly Ripa.
How long has been on
Kelly.
television, by the way? Sorry,
He has been on television since 2002.
1993.
Okay, no, because
He started hosting television shows in
Shut the fuck up.
1993.
You want to fight? You want to fucking fight?
Radical Outdoor Challenge, where he's like, "Oh, I'm radical. I'm Ryan. They're 19. Soon they'll let me. Soon they'll let me.
Yeah.
Soon they'll let me do what I want. But for now, I
Yeah.
have to pretend."
I'm Ryan. This is the Radical Outdoor Challenge. Not a challenge for me. I'm into Asian chicks because I know an executive that likes those too.
Oh yeah, he definitely tells you what race of woman he prefers.
Oh yeah, I'm really into.
Hey,
like,
it's Ryan. I'm radical. My dad was in the army, so you know what I'll do to you.
Yeah.
Hang loose.
I'm Ryan. I'm radical. I was one of those guys that in the mid 2010s described black women as ebony babes, and everyone was uncomfortable.
Yeah. Wow.
The reason why I started from 2002 is starting in 2002, Ryan Seacrest is broadcast television. Like it is,
Yeah.
you don't consider it, but because it's just not within our fucking bailiwick, for lack of a better term. But this guy is the David Letterman for women that don't like their husbands. Like, is your name Janet? Are you in middle management at some sort of shipping receiving role at like a tool like depository? I'm now just describing our friend John Schabel's wife for some reason. Is your name Kelly? No. Like, it is crazy how much TV this guy does. He maneuvers Brian Dunkelman out of the way to be the sole host of American Idol in 2002. And it is insane to not understand how big American Idol was in the early 2000s. Like it was the fucking shit. It went from sort of a summer replacement show. By the end of that summer, fucking the thin guy with the sideshow bob hair and Kelly Clarkson are on the MTV Video Awards. Like it was a fucking like holy shit. It really, really solidified the Fox network as the fourth network in America. And this guy is just basically launched as you've already alluded to it, the new Dick Clark, culminating in 2005. He starts being added to Dick Clark properties because Dick Clark's health is really faltering, culminating in Dick Clark getting a stroke. And then the worst thing ever happening in society, which is Dick Clark not handing over, counting down the New Year's Eve countdown and doing it with a stroke in the most uncomfortable video footage you can find on the internet. Just a man trying to struggle to say the number 8. I almost said the letter 8. Well, I beat you to the bottom, Dick.
He's got a well. This Seacrest, American Idol was absolutely huge. I mean, really, it's kind of like people kind of thought. I mean, maybe if Jeff Probst could have done Survivor live, he might have had a shot at taking over for Dick Clark. But if you want someone to stand there in a suit and say the things, Ryan Seacrest is number 1 through 6 options. But this guy's pretty much uninterrupted. Like here, all right, here are the shows this man has hosted. Radical Outdoor Challenge, as you said. He also hosted 3 kids game shows. Gladiators 2000s, as you said. Wild Animal Games. Click. Lover's Lane, which was on Beverly Hills 90210, which was just like a real dating show. He played a guy who hosted a show on Beverly Hills 90210.
Correct.
Ultimate Revenge, which was just Ryan Seacrest versus Kelly Clarkson, on top of a mountain. Yes, and Brian Dunkelman hosted American Idol. I mean, do you know why they went with Seacrest? I mean, having one host is more clean.
It was exemplified that towards the end of the season, they wanted to switch to one host, and Ryan Seacrest was just the pick because Ryan Seacrest manipulated things to make sure that Brian Dunkelman didn't get it. By the way, it's not just he's a host, he's also a producer, and he signs a development contract with a little company called E and starts a show called
what?
Keeping Up with the Kardashians. He's the EP of Keeping Up with the Kardashians.
Jeez. So he invents money.
Yeah, he saw a sex tape and went, I know how to actually make this worse.
Oh, you think a sex tape's exploitive? I'm gonna ruin these bitches' lives.
Oh, hello, Kardashian daughters. I've turned your mother into a monster. She's in charge.
And now, really, he just hosts every single show on television. He also was on the radio. Why wouldn't you be? Why wouldn't you be recording?
This is how I know
enjoying your own life. Or I mean, this is how he enjoys his life. Why not?
The entire time he's doing all of this, he is hosting a show called On Air with Seacrest, and it's LA Morning Radio. He still hosts this show. They have to build a studio wherever he's at, and he goes in and hosts it. How he records it is none of it is done live. He does it throughout his day in snippets, in like specific seconds. Like it'll be like, okay, we need like the show is exactly this long, actually, with commercials and songs.
This On Air with Ryan Seacrest started in 2017.
There's a variety of different sort of iterations of it. Like it's this
2004 he starts hosting American Top 40, which was previously hosted by Casey Kasem. Like this guy is like the dude. Yeah. It's like
he's taken it over.
Well, it's also like at some point you just think like, should I run for president? I'll have my own party. And they're like, yeah, he'll just be coming up next. My opponent's going to quit. I'm not going to quit. I am the incumbent president. You're going to quit. I have quit. Right, Seacrest has dissolved political parties and abolished term limits.
He was also one of the guys that was discussed to be the replacement for Howard Stern on the network radio.
That would be so funny.
And Howard Stern bloodied his nose by bringing him on the show and just kept talking about how he likes ladies and like it's so funny. Just like how I got to make sure this guy doesn't replace me. I'll bring him on and get him to talk about all that top shelf pussy.
I really like the fact that he would also try and be like Howard Stern. Hey, all right, Seacrest here. So, John Cena, have you ever sucked a dick?
Because here's the thing that I come down to it is in the end, Ryan Seacrest is just a radio guy. And that means his entire mentality is not what am I doing? It's just that I am on the air. As long as I am being
Yes.
broadcasted, they cannot ask me where my wife's body is or whatever the weird thing I'm covering is.
Showed up live from the court here. They apparently found out what I've been doing to my wife. Coming up next, we got 50 Cent.
Yeah. I
Ryan,
know
I
what
keep
you're
telling you, you're not on the radio. Coming up next, you're not
yeah.
going to say that again.
I just want to let you know I'm the reason Dick Clark had that stroke. I like to see him suffer.
But also he has like the reason I wanted to do this episode really is I wanted an answer as to why Ryan Seacrest, a man who is aging gracefully, got that plastic surgery.
He's obsessed with being on television. This is what it is. You look at all of his
But the
different
plastic
looks.
surgery and how rich he is would say I don't want to see that.
It doesn't
It's
matter.
weird now.
He just it's that weird thing of he's just like I just need to make. What's also weird about male plastic surgery is they try and like make them like, you know what I want to look like? I want to look 39 for the rest of my life. And it's like, go for broke, bro. Like do the like just become like an Italian fashion designer and look like a cat for 10 years and then later you just look like you survived some sort of melting incident. As opposed to what Ryan Seacrest is, he's like, I look like an AI version of a guy who chops wood.
Yeah, they want to look like vibrant. Like for women, I understand it
Yeah, that's a
because, like,
very
without going into it, you obviously everyone knows the ageism that women and we are betas. So I'll have another podcast where I talk about it, and then everyone on YouTube can insult my face and my body. But
good.
with men, it's like, who wouldn't want like an older, gray-haired host of a thing?
It's because it's also
Just
it's
start smoking. I don't know.
I guarantee that Ryan Seacrest is a nightmare behind closed doors in terms of partying. Like I guarantee it's just like he's drinking like red wine, but it's like I
Do
only
you think
drink
he's
Portuguese
ever
red
had
wine.
booze? I don't think he's
Yes,
ever.
I guarantee he's
I
had
think he has
booze.
the recommended amount of. Remember that I said red wine's healthy for your heart? I bet he has exactly that. And then if he has one more sip, he like spits it out and starts screaming at the person
No,
that's sitting between him.
because he's such an LA douche. I guarantee he's really into sipping tequilas, and he's like one of those guys that's like sometimes I just do MDMA and read.
You ever done chems and then just read Moby Dick, dude?
Yeah, man. Like it's just lame. Like the thing with Ryan Seacrest is none of this is fun. It's all like the thing with Ryan Seacrest, he will not be remembered in that weird way. You know what I mean? Like it's just sort of like he's because he's built nothing. He's the fucking what's the best way to describe this? Nothing he's done is of impact. Everything he's done, he's the Dr. Pepper version of everything. He hosted like
So
the
he's
top four.
great.
No, he
I
hosted the
love
top.
Dr. Pepper.
I love Dr. Pepper too, but Dr. Pepper is not the fucking. They're not. It's not the industry standard. It doesn't lead.
Ooh, I get you.
Coke, Pepsi. You know what I'm saying? In that, like, they're the innovators. They're like, hey, what's this? It's soda. What is that? It's pretty bad for you, but this snowboarder tells you different.
Dr. Pepper is dope because it's like, hey, do you like are you just a out and out guy who doesn't do the normal thing just to be a cunt? There you go. We're done.
Yeah,
Here's
that's
Dr.
exactly
Pepper.
right.
That's pretty much what I am, where it's like, are you just have the opposite opinions for no reason just because of being an asshole? Here you go. Here's Dr. Pepper. You
Hey,
put
would
some
you like
old
to?
pennies in this Coca-Cola.
Yeah. Hey, this flavor is best described as cinnamon that hates you.
It's cinnamon, but we poured it on a tree. Dr. Pepper. All right.
Yeah, it's
Well,
good. I
Seacrest is
get.
also taking over for Wheel of Fortune. So
Oh, I know.
essentially, you will turn a television on, and your parents will be watching it, and it's just Ryan Seacrest, and with them frantically handing him papers.
Yeah.
Apparently, I'm
Also,
also on Survivor now. How do I get this wood? Hey, don't get the wood. I'm every character on Survivor now. Ryan Seacrest, baby.
this is the thing I want to say. I've said it before, and I'm gonna fucking say it again. Where the fuck is Vanna White being like? How the fuck Vanna White has not aged a day in my lifetime.
This is the thing that I don't understand about the plastic surgery that Ryan Seacrest got is clearly there's people doing very good work out there.
Completely correct. You're completely correct. And Vanna White has found those doctors and is keeping them in some sort of bank vault.
You know what it probably is? It's probably that Vanna
Cheekbones.
White has time off so that, like, obviously, it's like a car, John.
All
We
right,
age
here
like
we
a
go.
car. Obviously, as soon as you drive it off the lot, the car is fucked, right? But you can
Mhm.
have constant oil changes and then it won't age as badly. Whereas Ryan Seacrest seems like he works so hard. He's just like, this is my day to look young. Do all the young stuff to my face. And then he gets it all done and he looks fucked. And then he has to move on.
It's sort of like Ryan Seacrest seems like he's doing like the in that like a a drag queen is an
No, Dwag, say it like a baby.
he's a drag
There you
queen
go.
in that it's a drag queen. It's like a super accelerated hyper version of like a glamorous woman. Ryan Seacrest, I think, is like he thinks he's doing like a hyper powerful version of like a big strong broadcaster, but he doesn't. That's not a thing. So it's just insane. He's like, I need fillers and I need to look young forever. And they're like, no one. Walter Cronkite looked like he was literally dying on air, and it was compelling. And Tom Brokaw, it looked like he was a snakeskin filled with light bulbs throughout most of the 2000s, and we couldn't stop having him on air. And it's like, no,
Yeah, but Tom Brokaw
I need
isn't
to be
hosting
stopped.
like poppy shows. Tom Brokaw's like,
Yes, he
coming up
was.
next, the Black Eyed
What are you talking
Peas.
about? In
That
the
was
mid
what was in my head.
90s, you were too young to remember. Tom Brokaw was the face of MTV from 1993 to 1997. It was only new metal that got him off because he was like, I have to go back to the news. I have one rule, and that is rap is not music. I agree with Jerry Garcia.
But I guess that died out with Ed Sullivan. I guess the Beatles killed it. But like having an old man introduce young things, that should come back.
Well, you completely. Also, it should come back that it's Ed Sullivan, which was people cared so little for like light entertainment that they got a guy who read the news badly in New York and hated everything to host the show.
Yeah, I love a less fun version of Walter Cronkite, who's they got to introduce the Beatles. That's so funny.
Yeah, who's going to host your late night variety show? A guy that actively hates everyone on the show. Why? I don't know. I'm pretty drunk.
Like I did a show yesterday where the host was so nervous that he just got up, said the name of the show, and then brought up the first act. Like he didn't do any time at all. And that is what Ed Sullivan was. But everyone was like, he's a kingmaker. I'm Ed Sullivan. Here's someone that's entertaining. Like, how
I'm
do
going
you
to say
get
this
that
right now.
job? That's dope.
I'm going to say this right now. You said King Maper, and you
King
fucked
Maper.
up.
Okay,
You
good.
King Maper. You fucked up. How do you feel? Do you feel embarrassed?
Dwag Queen. John,
I'm a drag queen.
John, do you think Ryan Seacrest will abolish term limits and is the only option to defeat Trump? Because I think so.
100%. Oh my God. If somehow, and I want to live in that reality. What's the 2024 election? Seacrest v. Trump. That debate would be fucking amazing, which is literally like Trump. This is how Trump starts it. I've had sex with more beautiful women than Ryan Seacrest. And then you see a fist fly into the screen so quick. Like just you do not say that about me, Don. Don, take it back. Don. Like just like in his face, like Mr. Seacrest, you need to step back. I'd get the Secret Service. I'll fucking kill them too. You take that back. I have sex with women from Hong Kong, Don. He keeps calling him Don. Donnie.
Yeah, he's not married because I genuinely think like the world's greatest man, John Cena, this man never stops. I guarantee he's substituted sleep for like learning Mandarin like John Cena has.
Oh,
So he can also host every
do you
show
also,
in
do you
China.
think that means that we're days away from a Cena style apology when John Cena had the temerity to acknowledge that Taiwan was a place and then had to post that hostage video said very calmly in both English and Mandarin, I am very sorry for acknowledging that place is a place. I did not realize you had my tax returns.
Oh my god, yeah. Well, John Cena as an actor is chef's kiss because he's like so used to working within what actors would now call like the old school studio system when WWE, where it's just kind of like, oh, what days off? Oh, you mean where you get to work out and the man yells at you on speakerphone? Yeah, I've had a day off, but
Yeah,
this
yeah.
is yeah versus yeah.
I'm gonna go have a nap. Oh, is that where your boss comes to your house and tries to fucking punch you in the face, but you have to hide from him? No.
Oh, that's where
That's
you
what.
play hide and go seek, but with punching with your boss. Yeah.
Yeah.
If I find you, I get to punch you, John. I'm naked from the waist down. Keep the shirt on
and
so it looks
the waist up.
Yeah.
I'm covered in blood.
Whose blood is it, John? Anyway,
you have to figure it out. Lick the blood.
Ryan Seacrest was also the substitute host on Larry King Live, where he
Oh my
pretended to be
God.
Larry King.
Have you
We
looked
got to
at
do Larry
Larry?
King episodes because it's like post 2000 Larry King,
Is
the DJ Khaled interview alone, where DJ Khaled tells him about how that Larry King just pauses and goes, "Why are you so fat?" Just like your fucking grandma would.
my favorite thing I've recently discovered is Mike Wallace and Larry King get into a giant argument about interview techniques. And it's basically what it is Mike Wallace is like, why don't you ask hard questions? And Larry King's basically like, I'm getting paid not to, Mike. Would you shut the fuck up? And
Yeah.
it's the weirdest interview because Mike Wallace is sat in this chair and Larry King is laid horizontally on a sofa, and it's the only time I've seen Larry King not look like he was dying. And Larry King is asked about his many wives, and he goes, "Here's the problem, Mike. If I pick up my messages and I've got two messages, one from my wife, one from CNN, I call CNN." And you're like, your wife's watching this now, Larry. Like, what the fuck?
Well, Larry King is brilliant, and a lot of people like this are brilliant. Where literally he's a lot like asking fluffy questions like Ryan Seacrest, but then just dressed like what you think a reporter looks like.
That's right.
Like Bert Sugar was like this, where he was on TV talking about boxing for way too long because he had like
Because he had
just a
the
fedora and a cigar that was unlit, and he'd be like, "The key to this fight is the punching," and then everyone would be like, "He knows what he's talking about." It's
it's
just
also the
hasn't
thing, but
watched a full fight in 30
Burt
years.
Sugar is also the greatest point is Burt Sugar also no matter what, if it was boxing related, Burt Sugar is there, which is like when the Howard Stern show did boxing matches, Burt Sugar is there. Burt Sugar, I guarantee, went to every Rocky premiere and talked about it like it was real. I guarantee that Burt Sugar like thinks Rocky 4 is a documentary. Burt Sugar, can we do a Burt Sugar episode? Burt Sugar is so fucking insane. Here's my favorite fact about Burt Sugar. I gotta find this. I have a wrestling book where Burt Sugar is does interstitial like writing about wrestling. And let me tell you, I have never read a book where you're like, I don't think Burt Sugar was a sober writing this or be knew what wrestling is. Because it'd be like the Grand Wizard was known around New York as a professional wrestling manager. Let's hear what Burt has to say. I gotta tell you, if someone's wearing a turban, I think of my wife and I want to fuck them. It's just like, what are you writing, Burt?
Well, it's the whole thing about Nick. Then it's TV, right? Like obviously, if it's auditory, then you listen to people and you're like, oh, okay, this man is worth listening to. But then you see it and you're like, well, I guess that's a reporter because that's what I see in a kid's book. Where look, a reporter, he's got a fedora and a little, he's got a little thing.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, hi, Felix.
Hi, Felix. Oh no. Oh no. Oh, we'll have to edit that out.
Oh, no, it doesn't matter.
Your poor no, your poor, I'm not talking about our audience. I'm talking about your son has just been exposed to our audience.
Oh no, yeah. All right, thanks so much for listening, guys.
Thanks, everybody.
We'll be back next week with Kimbo Slice.
Oh, a man who might rival Dylan and I for true alpha status. Actually, no.
I am so excited to talk about Kimbo Slice.
So am
he
I.
is so here's a summation of the entire episode. People are like, wow, that guy was a real down-to-earth guy. How did he become famous? Handpicked scared fat guys he knocked unconscious onto concrete. What? Yeah, they were all scared. They asked him not fight, but Kimbo said, no, I'm fighting you.
Yeah. So, here's the thing to remember about me is I'm not the biggest MMA fan, but I love MMA YouTube more than anything. And Kimbo Slice gets referenced so much more. They're like, because Kimbo Slice is both the great disappointment and like, man, those were the good old days where you could just get a guy and beat the shit out of him in a backyard and put it on the internet.
Yeah, exactly.
Bye, Dylan.
Bye-bye.